Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course, I always do greatly appreciate it. Now, I do hope everybody is having a great day or a great night, wherever you guys are watching this. I know it is Friday now officially, so I hope everybody is going to be having a great Friday. We are ranging into the weekend, so I do hope everybody has a great weekend as well. Today we're actually going to be talking about a lot of things regarding, XRP. For the most part, prices have been sitting stable throughout the entire market. Obviously, a few altcoins down a little bit more than, some. ZRX having a little bit of a pullback, about 15.64%. ZIL down about 10.62%. We see some, red across the board. I know HBAR was one that was actually dropping significantly today. But for the most part, the market is kind of sitting stable. I would say with a lot of the altcoins that are jumping out, we are starting to see them kind of do a 180. This is most likely due to uncertainty around the entire market, which I have been addressing for a while now. We are actually going to be talking about that, so let's just dive in and let's talk about the uncertainty around this market. So today I did a little bit of an update on Bitcoin, basically regarding the altcoin structure, and really kind of talking to you guys about where XRP does kind of live within that area. So when we look at XRP and we are waiting for that next major breakout event, everybody says it's going to happen overnight, it's going to happen tomorrow, it's going to happen, whatever. Honestly, in terms of XRP, it's the last to move. It's a last to move asset. It's similar to, other assets that are in this market, like, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, things like that. These are like last movers. It doesn't mean that we won't see significant gains, it's just that it's a last to move asset. So we have to await that time. But in general, everyone is really kind of saying, well, the Bitcoin, move is done. The alt season is no longer a thing. It's a bear market. We're done. And I want you guys to understand that when we look at the structure of economics right now, like not only is the NASDAQ down a little bit, so this was from yesterday, but we do see here, despite the NASDAQ being down 18% from its peak, a record high 64% of Bitcoin supply has not moved in at least a year. Beneath the surface, there is a group of convicted hodlers viewing Bitcoin as their store of value amidst uncertainty in markets. Pretty remarkable. Now, this is, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi or anything like that. I've just been telling you guys that when we look at, what's happening within this market, we are awaiting a Bitcoin season that will lead us to a massive alt season. Now, of course, do you see what is on the screen here? You see the 7-day MA NASDAQ percentage off of all-time highs, similar to what we are seeing right now. This is, by the way, during that 2020 timeframe. This is basically that March timeframe, by the way, in terms of the NASDAQ percentage off of the all-time highs. And then, of course, we did see the Bitcoin price, and then we also seen the percentage of the supply last active. This increased greatly as we were kind of doing this massive shift to the upside. A very similar structure is actually being printed here. In fact, it's actually a nice little uptrend that is happening on Bitcoin that is very similar to the March of 2020 lows. But I would actually say that when we look at this, okay, it could also be something similar to what we've seen during 2019 when the real supply started to build here in terms of the last active supply on Bitcoin. Now, as we really kind of watch this, all that we know here is that in terms of the structure, in terms of the supply, right, last active mixed with the NASDAQ percentage off of all-time high, it is at a very similar structure than the March of 2020. And it's also a very similar structure to even the 2019 lows. Now, I'm not going to say that, hey, the bottom's fully in. We've just seen very similar structures even going back to 2016, for an example, before Bitcoin went on a multi-year run. So again, we are watching this very, very closely because if this does continue to build out like this and the structure does continue to follow even with the dollar, we will most likely be seeing an incredible Bitcoin season, which will lead us to, of course, the evident altcoin season. And that's when we do focus on XRP. And how coincidentally, obvious is it that this is all kind of mixing perfectly into the timeline of the SEC lawsuit for a settlement to happen on XRP. Imagine the price action that will follow through on that. But also we did see, another $330.3 million in Bitcoin has been moved from Coinbase to cold wallets. Honestly, in terms of accumulation, we have been seeing a lot of accumulation happening on Bitcoin. And I've been addressing this even at the current level of Bitcoin. Also, real quick, even without opening, trading view, when we look at the Bitcoin structure that has been getting printed for the last like couple months now, we'll just go back 1 month, right? Because 1 month, or actually, let's go back to a 3 month structure because we want to have, January in there too. So here's that low from January. Here's that low from February. Here's our recent low, by the way, even comparing it to the low during March. Look at this structure. It's so perfect in terms of a higher low being put in place. I would say that Bitcoin's overall, chart looks very bullish, especially for a year ahead. I would say definitely pay attention to your altcoin holdings, especially if Bitcoin does continue this nice uptrend, because it looks like we could be seeing a turning point in this market very, very soon. Now, also, I do want to talk to you guys about Ripple, right? Learn how the LATAM, region can leverage crypto to foster financial inclusion through increased adoption of digital payments via our latest Ripple Insight blog. Now, of course, this is talking about low interoperability. Pretty interesting, especially in the LATAM area. When we look at this, right? Across Latin America, a fragmented payments landscape has resulted in low interoperability, often leading to high fees for both senders and receivers of payments. The funny thing about this is I don't even think that they're trying to hide it anymore. And you might be wondering, what are you even talking about, Nick? Well, it's pretty simple. So this is really kind of talking about adoption in these areas, talking more so about CBDCs, DeFi, NFTs, even the metaverse and things like that happening around the world. And then, of course, they are talking about the barriers here. The barriers, of course, being, interoperability. I've always talked to you guys about interoperability with one leading name. And if you guys can guess that, comment down below right now what name I'm talking about because we're going to be addressing it here shortly. But of course, the major barrier here is not only regulations, but also interoperability. Interoperability between legacy systems and digital systems is something that is evidently more and more clear that is missing from a lot of these payments landscapes. Of course, Ripple is offering a massive payment solution in terms of real-time payments, extremely, fast, affordable, transparent. It's, very, I would say it's absolutely no, failure rate. It's incredible to say the least that it's extremely more efficient than the current landscape. But there's one thing that's really, kind of holding it back, and that is that, again, interoperability layer between the legacy and digital systems. And of course, when we look at this, they are talking about, know your customer, anti-money laundering, things like that in terms of the financial system and really kind of integrating this into this, financial system that we're utilizing right now in terms of the legacy system. But how do we get there? Well, it's pretty simple, right? So here we're talking about the LATAM area again, except this is with Quant and LAC Chain. If you guys missed it, if you guys don't know about Quant, you should definitely be looking into it because they are working with Ripple in terms of the Digital Pound Foundation. Quant is basically the interoperability layer with that as well. But we look here, by providing secure and seamless interoperability, Quant will support LAC Chain in driving the growth and development of the DLT ecosystem in Latin America and the Caribbean and enable the interconnection of this ecosystem with other regional and national distributed ledger networks. This is going to be pretty significant, especially when you look at what is being built currently. This is also the only asset that provides interoperability between the legacy system and the digital system. And when we look at this, we do see here the partnership between LAC Chain and Quant will facilitate this development by integrating LAC Chain technology with Quant's unique overledger technology. LAC Chain and Quant, together with established banking partners, are creating a new fast, cross-border payment system for the region using tokenized currency. By flexibly tokenizing money using Quant's patent-pending multi-DLT token technology, the LAC Chain DLN will power a range of new solutions from transferring money between private individuals to government and corporate payments, as well as many other future LAC Chain use cases. And I love the fact that they are, saying here with established banking partners. They're not even mentioning anybody because, of course, a lot of NDAs are in place. But I could almost say that, Ripple is probably a leading name within this as well. And of course, we do see here we already host 26 projects on the LAC Chain blockchain, 89 nodes, 45 entities running nodes, and more than 20 million blocks. So this is actually pretty significant. And also, the alliance is already supporting public-private partnerships and blockchain-based solutions in a total of 12 countries. Pay attention to this. Things are being built out, especially in terms of the new financial system. It is being built and it is coming very, very quick. And also, in terms of this, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about some things happening with Tranglow. So Tranglow released this today. Yesterday, I should say. We launched Ripple's on-demand liquidity across our payment corridors last month, and businesses are reaping the benefits. Find out how you too can enjoy instant cash flow with on-demand liquidity. So as we really kind of see, this new system being built out, of course, Quant is a leading name. I've always said Quant is such a huge, aspect to the puzzle. Ripple obviously sees this, especially in terms of interoperability. There's not going to be adoption and use of these digital systems without interoperability. But again, we already know where the interoperability is going to come from. Of course, Ripple does have the interledger protocol, but that is such a very inefficient way of really kind of going about things. You might be wondering why? Because the interledger protocol actually needs to be adopted by almost every single financial institution for it to actually be utilized properly. With Quant, it's a 3-line code plug-and-play interoperability aspect where it's already being connected to 570 plus banks all at once, even through SIA. And it's already kind of connected through some major other entities through Oracle as well. So we are already kind of building out that interoperability system with Quant. These things do take time, and I'm not going to tell you that this is going to happen overnight. I'm just saying that, massive amounts of banks could be signed on at a very, very quick rate. So when we look at this, we also see here's how Tranglow gives your business maximum working capital. Again, imagine having more working capital at your fingertips. Yes, cash flow has always been king for growth-minded businesses, but founders and financial leaders across APAC need to get their hands on, the right funds faster than ever. And again, here we have on-demand liquidity. If you're a modern finance leader or remittance business CEO, you already know that the cost of pre-funding can add up fast. It is another expense to every single transaction, and it's a nervy wait for confirmation of your transfer too. It can take days to fully settle your transfer without any wait to see your payment status. Ripple's blockchain and payments report shone a light on, again, businesses' thirst for better payments experiences and real-time settlements, RTS. The report showed, and here we have, 59% of respondents say RTS for cross-border payments is key to business growth. 59%. 70% say RTS can drive business expansion, and 68% RTS can drive market share gains. This is huge. And again, Ripple is playing a key aspect in this. You don't need to lock your funds into one currency. Your business doesn't need WADs of starting, capital either. And again, by using on-demand liquidity and the digital asset XRP to bridge two currencies in as little as 3 seconds, payments are sent quickly and received in local currency on either side of the transaction. With Tranglow and RippleNet, say hello to on-demand liquidity and goodbye to complicated cross-border payments. Guys, these things are being built out at a very massive rate. Tranglow is a huge company. I've always said this in terms of Tranglow, right? Like, you look at the connections that Tranglow already has. This is a massive specialty or specialist in terms of cross-border payments, which is a $156 trillion market. I mean, nothing too big, right? $156 trillion market. You see their mission, you see their vision. They're going to be a leading name in this and a pioneer within this market as well. And I do see them becoming that, especially with, again, Ripple. And we do see here currently, these are the facts, right? Since they were founded, I think that they were founded during, I think it was like 2008, yeah. So 2008 until now, they have processed over $4.66 billion with 500 partners in 130 countries. They have 1,300 payout partners currently, 20 million transactions that they have done so far, and I do see these numbers growing very, very soon, especially as more on-demand liquidity corridors do launch with, of course, Tranglow. Now, also, as we really kind of look at this, look at their offices, look at the areas that they are already working in. I mean, the UAE, London, Singapore, Jakarta, Kuala Lumpur as well. Like, when we look at this, I'm telling you guys, they are drastically changing the entire landscape of cross-border payments. They also mentioned B2B, payments as well, big data within this area. All of this is focused around cross-border payments. The disruption to these markets is key to watch for, especially if you are really holding XRP, because XRP is going to be a leading name around, Tranglow's success. I mean, hey, don't take my word for it. I mean, Ripple owns 40% of, again, this company, guys missed it, Ripple agreed to acquire 40% stake in Tranglow to meet growing customer demand in APAC and expand the reach of on-demand liquidity. On-demand liquidity is taken over at a global rate. Now, this is just one aspect of the food chain. When we look at the food chain with Quant is interconnecting the entire cross-border payment, but also not even cross-border payment market. Quant is technically interconnecting the entire global legacy system to the DLT systems of tomorrow. The disruption of the current financial system is upon us, guys, and I want you all to pay attention to a lot of these tokens that people continue to FUD on. I know Quant gets a lot of FUD because, everyone's really worried about price action. I mean, everyone's worried about the price action with XRP as well. The only difference here is that people are actually doing their research. People are understanding what they are investing their money into, and that is a crucial area to really kind of know about crucial information to know about your token that you are investing in, because that really kind of gives you that comfort to sleep at night instead of worrying, did I make the right decision? You don't have to, because you know the fundamentals around these tokens. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.